Every day, fearless men and women battle Mother Nature's fury to bring home the catch.
Okay, watch yourself.
It's one of the oldest and most dangerous jobs on the planet.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Commercial fishermen risk it all to pull in a combined $5 billion annually, battling huge seas to make a living. About 80% of people go to work in an office. The rest, their 9 to 5 looks something like this. My admiration for the men and women who risk it all to get the job done knows no bounds. I'm Tim Kennedy, top MMA fighter and Special Forces sniper. My mission, show the world what it takes to do these insane jobs and stay hard to kill. Commercial fishermen haul in nearly 10 billion pounds of fresh fish every year in the US alone, risking their lives day in and day out. They are 29 times more likely to die on the job than the average American. And one of the most dangerous locations to do the job is the Eastern Seaboard. I'm here in Rhode Island to spend some time on a commercial boat with guys that have been doing this their entire lives. The North Atlantic is one of the most dangerous areas of the world to fish. In the last 8 years, the North Atlantic coast has claimed the lives of 165 American fishermen. This is where warm Gulf waters meet the frigid currents flowing from the North Atlantic, producing sudden monster storms with 30-foot swells and 100-mile-per-hour winds. But it's also home to one of the most valuable fishing grounds in the world. With its scallops and lobster beds, fishing boats in the Northeast can pull in over $3 per pound, almost twice the national average. So learning to do the job the right way is important for survival and for the bottom line. A normal fishing day can turn into your worst nightmare in a heartbeat. I want to know what it's like to work this dangerous occupation of being a commercial fisherman. To understand what it's like to be a commercial fisherman, I'm meeting a 40-year veteran of the industry, Fred Matera. You've been doing this for a while?
Yeah, I started in '72, so okay. I fished for 40 years. And then I sold the boat, but I started a Northeast safety training company, and that's what I do, essentially, mostly full-time. Fred used to catch cod, flounder, and scallops all over the Atlantic. And according to him, the first step in learning one of the deadliest jobs in the country is to learn the ropes. So the net, obviously. Yeah, this is the net.
And we're going to shoot that net out, and hopefully we'll catch something.
Is this where most of the work happens?
Yeah, fish will come up here, we'll drop them here, and they handle and sort the fish there, and any discard goes right over the chute out the side.
And there's going to be little things we're going to show you that'll make this a lot easier than fighting it. You know what I mean?
Why are you in shorts?
This is Joe.
This is me.
This is Joe.
This is my brother.
The ship is captained by Fred's brother, Joe, and managed by 30-year veteran Sam Martin. They rely on decades of experience, high-tech fish finding equipment, and instinct to track down their catch. But when they can't find the fish in their normal spots, they often have to venture out into more dangerous waters, risking it all to keep turning a profit.
You leave owing money. I've got to put fuel, I got to put ice, I got to put grocery, I got to put oil on board here. That's probably could be, $5,000 to $10,000 just in expenses.
Just getting to the grounds.
Just to get to the grounds at the start.
I've never even thought about that. Like you're in the hole, you're negative.
That's the challenge.
So
you're inside, we should get going.
Yeah, we got to get going.
The average trawler trip can last 3 days or longer, as long as they have enough fuel to get home. Their shifts are long and hard, 18 to 20 hours a day. Rough seas and back-breaking work means mistakes happen quickly.
We're going to go out and we're going to set nets. So Most of what we're going to catch here today are hopefully some flatfish and codfish. Just keep your hands clear, don't get caught in that.
So, I mean, your head's on a swivel. I'm watching ropes moving.
Yeah.
So basically, you work all that down and you snoot it all tight.
There you go, now you got it. Now we're going to start fishing. This is the realities. This is what we're out here to do. We want to make certain all this line is clear.
Yeah, your foot's around that, you go over.
Yeah.
So we just pull it in the first haul. By the time we get the fish on board, we have to put the net back out, try to get more fish before we even start working on this. While you're doing that, you're dealing with chains and ropes and the boat's moving. You know, wind's hitting you in the face and the rain's hitting you in the face and the mist and the salt water's blasting you. You don't have good footing. At any point, if something gets caught, I'm going.
Boats like this can pull in 1 million pounds of fish in a year, and they all need to be sorted, cut, and cleaned.
You're gonna pick, only picking the head. That way you don't damage the fillet. Just the good fish, grab these yellowtail, we'll throw them in the other basket. Okay.
To find the valuable fish, the crew often needs to sift through hundreds of bottom feeders that can't be sold on the market.
Hey, Tim, come here.
You all right?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm good. Sorry.
Ah!
You all right, buddy?
Yeah. God, they're slippery.
Once they pull the valuable fish from the haul,
Woo!
they dump the rest overboard.
What's the craziest thing you guys ever seen come up from a net?
Oh, I've seen some big sharks.
Really?
Probably 8 feet of his head was laying here. The rest of his tail was all the way up to the top of that block.
I caught
That's
a
how
manta
big-
ray one time, 24 feet across.
Yeah.
I had to gift wrap him, lift him up, put a rope on the outrigger to pull him overboard and drop him down. And he was still hung up in the rope, and he started swimming and pulling the bow of my boat around.
I've seen half a body. I've seen an arm.
Of a human?
Yeah.
Holy.
Once the deck is cleared, the deckhands start the long process of cleaning and cutting the fish.
Cut that.
Like this?
That's good. That was probably a tenth of what a normal bag might have been. A tenth. So imagine you're going to be throwing 10 times that overboard and then handling probably 10 times as much fish. Do this 8 times a day. I've got a picture in my office from that rail to 10 feet inside, solid cod. 30,000 plus fish, 1 tow. We cut fish for 23 hours, nonstop. You see where you can get a little fatigued shoveling stuff overboard.
Long hours and demanding work are partially to blame for the large number of accidents on the job.
Injuries include lacerations, broken fingers, and trauma from getting hit by heavy equipment. The job can go from dangerous to deadly in a heartbeat, which is why commercial fishermen are required by law to be trained to survive at sea.
We have to abandon ship. We need 2 things here on this upper deck. We need this life raft. So what we're going to do here first is come to this strap, this quick release here. That there. We'll pull that right out. That opens right up. When you pull that, the pin opens up the valve and pumps almost 3,000 pounds of pressure. It will inflate this whole raft.
So if the boat capsizes, will this automatically deploy?
Yeah. This is an E-perp here, okay? Emergency positioning indicating radio beacon. This has GPS built into it. This sends a signal here to a satellite to the shore.
Okay.
Coast Guard, NOAA, they receive this.
Hey, this is a lot of stuff.
Oh, this is only the tip of the iceberg. The most important piece of equipment, safety equipment you have on the boat is the immersion suit.
Okay.
Okay, these are really called immersion suits because you immerse yourself in the water.
These suits can protect victims for up to 6 hours in 32-degree water. They are fitted with water-activated strobe lights and have air bladders to keep the fisherman's head above the waves.
This time of year, somebody falls in the water. We get a man overboard now, and you're in this cold water, and that person is just in his regular, conventional foul weather gear. He hits that water. He doesn't have but minutes. And somebody has to go and assist them. Everything stops. It's all about that person in the water. In order for me to be a U.S. Coast Guard certified instructor, I have to put one of those on in 1 minute, or less. Now we're going to really put the test to you. We're going to go through a man overboard drill. All I want you to do is get this on and get it on correctly.
Okay.
Fred and his crew are going to throw a dummy crew member overboard.
I'll have a minute to put on the suit and to jump into 37-degree water in open ocean to save him.
Man overboard! Man overboard! Get in that suit!
I'm not built square.
I know, it's like a sleeping bag. Keep going all the way down. Okay, and then drop your head. Lift it up. Let's drop your head right in. Okay, that's good. That's about 30 seconds. Roll it up. Bring it behind your neck. One more roll. Good, now clip it into the ring. Good. Take your time, watch the chain over your head, step on the rail. Keep that inside elbow up on top of your head. Just step straight off. Get that, yep. You got it.
Commercial fishing is one of the deadliest jobs in the United States. And these frigid North Atlantic waters claim more lives than any fishing ground in the country.
Man overboard! Man overboard! Get in that suit!
About 1/3 of all fatalities happen when someone on the crew falls overboard. So fishermen are trained to rescue their crewmates using an immersion suit.
One more roll. Good, now clip it into the ring. Tony, if you can get to the stern.
Fishermen must be able to get the suit on and jump in under a minute, and save his crewmate in under 10 to prevent him from drowning in cold water.
Get the life sling.
This water's cold.
The second you hit that icy water,
I see him!
You're gaining, good.
your body reacts with shock responses. You start gasping for air and hyperventilating. If you don't drown from the initial shock, then your muscles stop working and then you drown. This is how most fishermen die in a man overboard scenario.
When you get to him, talk to him.
Okay.
Steady him. Tell him I've got you. You're going to be rescued. We're going to get you back aboard. Reassure him.
I got him. I got him.
Good, good.
Got your head out.
Okay. You're doing well. You got him here. He's right by the boat now.
Don't worry.
Go ahead.
All right, give me the hook.
Good job. You're staying right with him. Okay, release it real quick.
Come on, let's get him out.
Let's get that life sling back to Timmy. Okay. Good job. Take it tight.
All right, I'm in.
Nice and smooth. Help him as he comes aboard.
All right, good job, buddy. Man, that happens fast.
5 minutes, 20 seconds. Excellent, in 37-degree water.
The immersion suit could save a fisherman's life, but only if someone manages to see the victim go overboard.
In half of man overboard fatalities, no one will even witness the fall.
The statistics have shown that 43% of man overboard victims, fatalities, are within 6 feet of the vessels. 6 feet of the vessel. There they are, right there. You can
Reach down,
see them.
almost
You
touch
can
them.
almost touch them, and we lose them. This was best case scenario.
You guys do not have an easy job. I don't think anybody thinks about that.
For the most part, people don't realize where that codfish came from. They don't realize that a guy slipped on deck and cracked his head open to get it. You know, or a guy went overboard, or 2 guys I know that have died this year alone, this winter. That's the business that we're in. So you don't know what situation you're going to be in at any particular time. That's why this training is so important. We just have to keep ourselves at the tip of the sword so that we can make sure we stay alive. And as you go through all these scenarios, when it happens, you'll be able to react in the right way.
Fred Matera, he made the career shift to safety trainer after a particularly devastating accident at sea.
We had a tragic event. We were fishing. A vessel called Mayday, and they had a guy in their fish hole had passed out. And so we're all scrambling on the radio, talking to him, trying to advise him, and we start to realize there must be something toxic in that fish hole. We got there, jumped aboard, we pulled the guys out of the hole, we administered oxygen. One of the young fellas was one of my best friend's son. He called me and asked me, what's up with Stevie? How's my son doing? And I said, he's not good. Go right to the hospital.
Yeah.
And by morning time, he called me and said, they just called and Stevie didn't make it. All I could do at that point was say, look, I promise you in the legacy of your son that we will make an impact and change the culture in safety. So that's how I got involved in the safety. Once you start to do this, people come back and say, geez, I had a man go overboard and we saved him. Just like that. It compels you to continue to do it.
Fred has trained hundreds of fishermen to survive disasters. Because while a man overboard situation can be dangerous, things get far more deadly when the ship itself is compromised. The leading cause of death is vessel disaster. That's when the ship capsizes, sinks, or catches fire. They account for 50% of fatalities in the industry. Because there are no first responders on a boat miles at sea, a fisherman needs to be trained as an emergency repairman and a firefighter to save their ship from going down.
This is where it starts getting real. Worst case scenario, boat sinking. Nightmare.
To learn how to survive vessel disaster, I'm at Resolve Academy in Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
We've been doing this now since 1994. We've had over 36,000 people come through here, and we're going to teach you how to hopefully save your life or somebody else's life on the ship.
Out at sea, fishermen must know how to keep their vessel above water. It's the only way to protect both their livelihood and their lives. Something the owners of the Sea Princess found out in 2013 after an engine room explosion blew a hole in the hull. The 60-foot fishing vessel went down off the coast of Oregon. The crew managed to escape, but lost their ship.
And 17,000 pounds of tuna. A haul estimated at $40,000.
Make sure you got nothing in your pocket that's gonna get shorted out, because you're gonna get wet now.
The location of the hole. From a damage control standpoint, you are not concerned about a hole that is right at the ocean surface alongside the ship's hull. We're not worried about that. We're worried about the hole that's 5 feet down, where you have 5 feet of seawater with the head pressure pushing in on that hole. So the gallons per minute could be triple versus here, and when it's actually down here. Because
So even a small hole, you know,
could flood quickly.
could flood fast.
Because how far down the ship's hull is that hole allowing the water to come in?
Most fishing vessels sink from damage to the hull. Those disasters become deadly when fishing boats are miles away from help. Between 1992 and 2007, nearly 2,000 commercial fishing boats sank in the U.S., claiming over 1,000 lives.
So if we have a hole right here,
5 inches.
5 inches,
300 gallons a minute, 1
and
foot
then
below.
we're right here,
There you go.
600 gallons a minute.
600, 700 right there, yep, easy.
And like your priorities of work, are you attacking the lower?
Lowest ones first, always.
The lower the hole, the faster the seawater will rush in because of the increased water pressure. Imagine every second 10 gallons of water blasting you in the face faster than a fire hose.
First one you're going to do is a Jubilee patch. They are meant for a rupture on a pipe. Very simple. You want to put the rupture. See the rupture's on here. So you go downstream, put it on, get the bolts, just snug them down a little bit so you have it, then you roll it down over your rupture. The other patch we're going to do, this is a homemade patch. It's called using a chain wrench. So what we've got here is a piece of pipe with some rubber on the inside to make a seal. So same thing, we want to put it over the top of this here. You take it, hold like so, you wrap the chain away from you and then back around. Typical vice grip operation, so you get it as close, tight as you can get it, and you lock the vice grip down.
All right, can I try that real fast?
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely good, just wrench it down.
It sounds in theory we're trying to stop the leak completely. 90% of the time you're not going to stop it completely. You're going to just slow it down to where it's manageable.
80% damage control is an 80% is considered winnable. All right, so another thing that we're going to do is we have a possibility of a protrusion coming through the ship's hull. We have seawater coming in, you cannot stop that, so the only way to do this is a bucket patch or a box patch. Very simple. It's got a J hook that goes inside. You take this, you line it up inside of there, pull it tight, like so. Then you go spin this down and suck it up nice and tight. Okay. All we're trying to do is slow it down.
The last technique I'll learn is shoring. A shore is a portable beam that can support any structural weakness caused by the flooding, or wedge a door or hatch into place to reduce the flow of water.
An I-type shore is a direct compression shoring. And we need to build above the hand wheel because we cannot shore to the hand wheel. From here to there, which is going to be our anchor point. And then when we go to put shoring, we have to include wedges. And this is how it makes it tight.
How the hell do you do this when the whole place is underwater?
If it lets go, wood is buoyant. It is going to breach the surface of the water like an ICBM. Okay. So make sure your face is not anywhere near it when the 4x4 comes through the top of the water. Okay.
So it all seems so simple.
It is.
Until you're drowning.
No.
I've learned how to secure a ruptured pipe, plug a hole, and shore a hatch into place. But now I'll have to do it with 600 gallons of seawater pouring into the boat.
I don't know how it's gonna go, but I'm gonna give it a whirl. Come, coming in!
Oh, your stuff is in here.
I'm trying to find my tools. Something got knocked about. The water started coming in.
The lowest leaks in the room were coming from the pipes, so that needs to be handled first.
I got wedge in it. I got clamps. All right, come on, man. Road rising. Away. Away and back to you. Come on, man. One foot, another foot. Rode 2 feet the last 6 minutes.
In a real scenario, if the fishing boat is flooded and you can't secure the breach, the ship is going down.
Come on, man. Rode another foot.
And right now, this ship is going down.
Coming, Jim. Coming slow, man. I can't get this.
Commercial fishing is one of the toughest jobs there is. That's why fishermen need to train to survive falling overboard and vessel disasters. One of the most dangerous scenarios is when the boat is taking on water.
All right, we got a breach in the ship's side. Better take care of it. Need the bucket patch.
If you can't patch the leak, you're going down with the ship. And you risk hypothermia and drowning.
Oh, man, ready, let's do this. Come on, man. All right, the ship just ran the ground. We gotta shore that hatch. We're good. I got this. Put the wedges. Trying to get it under there right now. Hold my breath long enough to get it. That's great. Gotta have it straight up and down. Concentrate, hold hold. All right, we're good. There's a lot going on, you know?
Well, let's go over here where you started. You did okay here with these. There needs to be 2 per patch.
Yeah, my plan was to come back and tighten everything with the wrench.
Okay.
I still don't see my wrench.
It's right there. Excellent.
As is my tape measure. Both of these things would have been really helpful.
All right, so you did okay. Be really good with this. We got first try. We got the bucket patch in place. We got it tightened down sufficiently. And then on I-type shoring, difficult to do as a single person. Right? I was helping you just minimal to give you some assistance, right? But trying to get you had it over the scuttle where it's supposed to be. Right, so you got it right on the first try. Breathe in.
And it's hard. It's I realize that we're not moving.
Yeah.
You know, I realize that this is training, and there's no stress that if I don't fix this,
You can just walk up.
we could drown. I also realize that this water temperature is 75.
Probably about that.
That's not 35-degree water.
35-degree water, you got a stay time of what, 3-4 minutes?
Yeah. There's not an easy way to get good at this. You know,
This is what I did in the Navy.
Yeah.
This is my job in the Navy, and this is what I train people to do. So,
man, I put holes in things. That's what I've been doing for 15 years. You know, trying to plug holes is not something I'm especially good at, obviously. This was some incredible training. I got some more work to do, I think. All right, what's next?
We're going to teach you what's going to happen when you have a fire.
One of the deadliest vessel disasters a commercial fisherman has to deal with is fire. By federal law, commercial fishing boats with more than 49 people on board must be equipped with at least 2 sets of firemen's outfits and masks.
This is our ship. What's her name?
Gray Manatee.
Gray Manatee. All right, I'm gonna kick your ass.
The Gray Manatee was designed to train anyone to fight ship fires. It's a live fire simulator that can produce thick smoke and 1,000-degree temperatures.
The ship fires are one of the worst fires you're going to find because that heat has nowhere to go. Most fires start in the engine room. We've got atomized gas that's going through the engines, through piping. Everything's hot down there already. Visibility's not going to be the best down there because you can't get it out. So when there's a fire, you're going to walk in there and you're going to put your hand right here and not be able to see it. You're getting rough seas, lack of sleep, you're tired, and all of a sudden they're telling you now your ship catches fire. So you've got to put it out, or the worst case scenario is that you're overboard and now you got to rely on somebody to come and get you.
This is a controlled environment, but with 1,100-degree flames and toxic smoke, one mistake can be deadly.
Reality-based training is one of the most important things in any dangerous job. Ultimately, the point of the Gray Manatee is to get people ready to have to put out a real fire on a real boat where there's real people that are going to die if you don't do it.
For this exercise, we're required to wear a full fireman's outfit with a self-contained breathing apparatus.
Most people don't die in a fire from the burn. The smoke is the most dangerous part, especially on your vessels. If it's a fuel, there's toxic gases in there.
Cannot stress enough that breathing the smoke, it only will take one breath of that superheated smoke to end you.
Most fires on a boat start in the engine room, where there's plenty of fuel, oil, and electrical components to get the fire started.
Your 3 priorities are always life, the structure, and the environment.
Okay.
All right? So life is always number 1. So we're going to find the victim, get him out first, and then attack the fire. Remember now, communication is a lot more difficult. So when you want to talk to somebody, always face towards them.
Okay.
When I'm talking this way, that's where the voice goes. So all he knows, I go, hey, let's go, we got a victim here. And when I talk to you, you need to answer back to me so we make sure we're on the same page.
Okay.
Or if you talk to me, I answer you.
In this scenario, we'll enter the ship's starboard door and go room to locate the fire and to put it out.
Go on the other side. All right, come on down. Stay on the right side.
Time is your greatest enemy with a boat fire. Combine flammable liquids with poorly ventilated areas and it could trigger an explosion. Cliff showed me how to test the doors for heat to find the source of the fire.
Okay, get the door back on. There's nothing in here. Okay, go next room. I see a body. Okay, there you go. Okay. Go ahead and go down.
Smoke inhalation is responsible for up to 80% of fire-related deaths.
There, Tim, stay that low. All right, got it. We're gonna get them on the side, he's safe.
Life comes first,
Air's still good.
but the consequence
All right, good job. Coming back in.
is that the fire has time to grow. After toxic smoke, extreme heat is deadlier than flames.
Okay, go right here, all right? All right, keep going.
Inhaling superheated air will burn your airway, scorch your lungs, and kill you.
Just a quick look. It's 1100 degrees in there. 1100 degrees.
Just one breath, and I'm dead. The fatality rate for commercial fishermen is 29 times the national average, making it one of the deadliest jobs in America. They must be able to survive a man overboard scenario
I got him!
and know how to patch a hole to keep the ship above water.
Come on, man!
But the most unpredictable and terrifying disaster a fisherman can face on the job is a boat fire.
Just a quick look. It's 1100 degrees in there. 1100 degrees.
At Resolve Maritime Academy in Fort Lauderdale, I'm facing down an environment of toxic smoke, superheated air, and a raging inferno that needs to be put out.
Temperature down to 1,000 down to 300. Okay, hit it again. Alright, the fire's out now. We saved the victim, we put the fire out. Good job, let's go. Everything's done, the victim's safe, the fire's out. Now we can take our equipment off.
This is a controlled environment. We have a controlled fire. It wasn't going anywhere. We know we can put it out. We had a little bit of visibility because it's a training fire. You take that in the real situation now, you wouldn't be able to see that fire taking about from me to you away from it sometimes.
Yeah, I can't imagine doing this on a commercial boat without this equipment. It's dangerous already.
Yep.
Now it gets deadly in a heartbeat.
Yes.
I want to spend some more time in the Great Manatee. It's cool.
Let's go, Tim. Excellent job.
Every day, commercial fishermen in the U.S. must be prepared to fight for their lives. Recovering a man overboard, putting out fires, controlling floods, every one of those disasters can be deadly.
But a fisherman's worst nightmare is when they all happen at once. To truly understand the worst day for a commercial fisherman.
I'm on a barge in Biscayne Bay, Florida. Fred Matera is here to offer his 40 years of experience on the job.
Tim, what Lewis has set up here really is your worst nightmare.
So we got safety divers, we got 3 safety divers, we got the fire rescue, we got all extraction points all ready to go for you. If you have any problem at all, I'm talking about any problem at all, give us a sign.
Okay, I mean, for me,
you let me know.
Everything's gone wrong, and we are not capable of executing this, and I am in trouble. Like, I'm in serious, dire need. I need help. Come in. This is it.
I'm all over you.
If I'm underwater, this is come and get me. If I'm over water, this is come and get me. If I'm on fire, this is come and get me. If I'm drowning and I'm like this is come and get me.
Yesterday.
Yeah, like as fast as you can.
No problem. We're all over you.
You don't know what's going to happen. Keep your mind clear. Prioritize what you have to do. Save yourself, save your crew member in the vessel.
Crew member.
Mariano's your mate. He's there to help you. He's a crew member. A lot of things are going to happen real quick, and you just have to be ready to take them one at a time.
Once on board the boat, my crew member and I will be hit by a fire and flooding. We'll have to work together to put the fire out and to keep the vessel afloat. If we can't, we'll have to abandon ship.
Everything I need is on the boat.
Everything you need is on the boat. Tim, you ready?
All right, good.
We're on a fishing boat. I have all my safety survival equipment. Really, this is about surviving the worst day on a boat. You either save yourself or you die.
Production team ready. Tim ready. Fire up.
Fire, smoke. Hey, we got a fight. We got a fight.
Fire extinguisher in your cabin.
On small fishing boats, the good news is you can detect fires quickly, since you're never far from the smoke. The bad news, if you don't extinguish it in less than a minute,
Here, got it?
it can engulf the vessel.
You hold it open. Got it? The fire's out, yeah. Are you good? You get burnt? Nope. You okay? Yeah. Dude, look at that water, though. Where are you taking our water? I gotta see where this water's coming from.
Cabin fires can cause structural damage to the boat within seconds.
Explosions can punch holes in the hull,
I need plugs, man.
or the heat can weaken joints, springing leaks.
All right, we got water pouring in from every single hole. This right here is pouring water. Yeah, grab me some of those plugs in that hatchet. Yeah, and hatchet, black hatchet, right by your left hand. Yeah, that right there. Got it. Hey, is there any water coming in over there?
A 1-inch hole 1 foot below the water's surface will allow 20 gallons of water per minute into the boat.
If we don't get this plug, this boat's going down.
At 3 feet below the surface, it's over 30 gallons per minute.
I got one plug.
I have to plug the deepest ones first, then move my way up. If I can't get it under control, the boat could go under in 5 to 6 minutes.
I got this. Yeah. Put that over the top. Grab one.
Since every hole and leak is different, commercial fishing crews need to be creative, using any materials they have on board to stem the flooding.
Wrap this around here. I'm gonna hold it. Yeah, you hold it down. Tight, tight. Let's see if I can wedge this thing in here. Yeah, that's good. We got it. That's two. Where else is water coming from? That has tons of water. No, give me that. Yeah, give me one of those small plugs. Man, the front of the boat is only like a foot off the water.
3 minutes since the boat began to flood, and we've taken on over 75 gallons of water.
Wow, this water is getting fast.
The boat could go under in less than 2 minutes.
It's all about stopping the flow of water. I mean, we've got layers of foam right here. We're just trying to stuff it inside of here. Yeah, it's working. Go check those last holes in the back. Front of the boat is going down.
Something has happened to Mariano. You got a man down.
It's common for fires to release toxic fumes that render crew members incapacitated.
Give me a life vest. All right, I got you. I'm gonna get you a flotation device. Hey man, we're gonna get off this boat. We gotta stay out much longer. Hey, I'm gonna go get the life raft ready.
With our vessel almost submerged, there's no choice but to abandon ship.
3, 2.
Hey, stop pulling it aft. Pull it aft.
This boat is going down. All right, we're getting off.
That's it. Pull, pull.
Are you going back in?
Yeah. Gotta get that anchor up. Get the flares.
Training to regulate your breathing could save a fisherman's life.
Take the biggest breath you can. All right, so now I'm going to show you how a freediver does it, okay?
That looked really weird.
Which do you think looks bigger?
I think you had more air.
A lot more, right? So if you watched I did it, the first thing I did was this, which was the diaphragm.
Yeah.
Then I'm doing the chest. Then I'm actually using my shoulders and then getting the neck involved, right? Let's try the first one. Diaphragm, chest, shoulders, neck, perfect. Relax into the water. All right, doing good. We're coming up on our first signal, so good. Already at the next one. All right, 3 minute signal. Recovery. Nice job. 3 minutes.
More than 3 minutes?
Commercial fishing is one of the deadliest professions in the United States. A bad day at work for these guys can turn deadly fast. To understand the dangers these guys face, I'm aboard a sinking ship off the coast of Florida.
3, 2.
5 minutes after an engine fire caused leaks in the hull, the boat is fully submerged.
This boat is going down.
To make the situation more dangerous, my crewmate has passed out.
All right, we're getting off. I got it.
Good job.
Hey man, I don't have our e-permit. I don't have our safety stuff.
All of these things happened so spontaneously that he wasn't able to make a mayday call. And now he doesn't have any means of a signal.
No, I gotta go back to the boat. Okay. All right, you stay right here. You stay right here.
He's going to try and hold his breath, go down there, and try and find that bag where the flares are. You know, that's his only hope.
I found the flares, but they were stuck. The bag was caught, so I had to use the hatchet to chop it free.
How long have you been in? I mean, as much as a controlled environment that we have, he doesn't come up here in the next 10 or 15 seconds. Somebody's going to have to go in there and get him. There he is.
Ryan, are you good?
You got the flares, you got the e-perm, and he's definitely going to survive.
Commercial fishermen risk their lives to feed people across the globe, battling the harshest elements Mother Nature can throw at them.
You're a fisherman? This is your worst day of your life right here. Boat's on fire. It's taking on water. It's starting to sink. Ultimately, you have to abandon ship. Crew members are hurt. It's just fight for survival.